I guess every review or overview of Dorohedoro starts like this. There's this dude with the head of a reptile and an identity crisis. He's called Cayman, but doesn't actually know who he is, or better, was, before a sorcerer changed his head into its current state. In order to figure out this mystery, he likes to chomp into people, puts them into his mouth, and asks them what the man inside of him said to him. Yeah, inside of Cayman there's some man. Is he Cayman's true self, some kind of a magic entity, or what? We can only guess. The world of Dorohedoro is basically divided into two spheres. The sphere of the humans, called the Whole, that's the post-apocalyptic deranged slum city in which Cayman and his friends are living in, and into the sphere of the sorcerers, ruled by devils and a mighty magician who can turn everything and everyone into mushrooms. The two spheres are interconnected through doors, or rather portals. At first it seems that the Whole is just a training ground for the sorcerers. They switch into the Whole, apply some magic onto the poor wretches called humans, turn them into bugs or reptiles or whatever they like to just, because they can, and then leave. A bit like crazy tourists on Mallorca or something. No wonder that Cayman and his friends have a bit of a temper when it comes to these sorcerers. So usually they just kill them after Cayman asked his question. As whacked out as this premise sounds, and it is whacked out for sure, Q Hayashida created a world that works perfectly for a gripping fantasy horror tale full of blood, gore, violence, magic and utter nonsense that still makes some kinda sense in this particular strange world. She has mixed up fragments and tropes from zombie lore, spaghetti western, B-movie splatter and Harry Potter and whatever, to a unique cocktail that won't let you go so easily. And the sorcerers ride on motorized brooms, with the exception of their boss, who rides on a vacuum cleaner. Just to mention one of the whimsical details in the saga here. Despite of being very much in your face all the time, bodies are sliced, morphed, pulverized in every possible and impossible way. The gore factor is easily a 10 from 10. Despite handing out violence in the largest amounts, the story and the characters are pretty nuanced. It quickly turns out that the universe of Dorohedoro can't be so easily separated into the poor or heroic humans here and the evil sorcerers there. Because there are a lot of protagonists who are actually in between, and there are bonds and loyalties across the both worlds. There's a lot of excitement and innovation in this manga. I can't remember having read one boring chapter. It's really hit after hit. Zany follows crazy, follows weird, follows zany. And obviously done in this wonderfully detailed, masterful art style of Q Hayashida. Her art resembles rather old-school etchings from Dutch or Flemish masters some centuries ago than modern streamlined manga formulas, which is very fine with me. There's just one exception. The faces of the characters are done in the generic manga style. At least it looks like that for a very casual manga reader like me, who likes to ignore the multitude of actual manga styles. But I know there are a lot of comic readers who don't pick up a manga just because of the reason that they can't relate to these generic templates of faces. In a way, that's unfortunately true for Dorohedoro as well, but Q Hayashida pulled off a trick right here that is simply genius and works fantastically. The faces of most of the characters, at least of the sorcerers, are usually hidden behind crazy masks. Ironically, the masks are much more interesting and transport much more character than their quote-unquote of real faces. Like the mask of one of the henchmen of the mightiest magicians, which is a freaking heart. And I mean a real heart, not the symbol. Well, I have only read the first 13 trades yet. There are all in all 23 of them. It was concluded in 2018. Q Hayashida's art slows me down in the best possible way. I often found me drooling over some compositions or mere hatchings or details like that. My elder son borrowed the trades from me and plowed through them in the span of a few days. He reads it almost 10 times faster than me. This is no exaggeration at all. Just a proof that you can read Dorohedoro obviously in different ways. But we agree in our judgment. This manga is just fantastic, and because of the unusual art, the fun gore, which is violent but not brutal, like my son said, because nobody dies for long and even the most sliced up corpse can be resurrected. And again, the dense, dark, highly detailed and skillful art. It's just outstanding, if you like manga or just good comics. Thanks for listening and watching. Goodbye.